Hey girls, I have a question, not really a dilemma. I, 22 female, have been with my boyfriend, 25 male.
So say again, 22.
22 female, have been with my boyfriend, 25 male, for 6 months now. I'm currently finishing up my master's and we've been discussing going on trips together. However, my mum is strict and I don't know how to tell her about the trip or how to go out without disclosing the details to her. We are quite close, so that brings some difficulty as I just can't say I'm going with friends, as she'll say which ones and ask for pics and we'll do video call. Not to control, but that's just how we normally do things.
Yeah.
Please, your help will be much appreciated. I'm thinking of like a summer holiday, like June or July for my birthday. Thanks, girlies.
Tricky.
It's tricky. Does your mum know you have a boyfriend?
Yeah, that's even.
That's the first. That's the first question you've got to ask yourself. I don't know. It doesn't say it here.
Yeah.
It knows that you do.
Yeah.
But does your mum know you have a boyfriend?
That's the question. Tell me how. Sorry, just so we're on Patreon now.
Yeah.
Or even both of you, have you ever like told your parents you're going on holiday with a guy?
Yeah, my boyfriend at the time.
And how did that process go?
I told them about a week before. I said I'm going on holiday with my boyfriend.
And there was no like questions or anything at all.
Questions?
No, I'm just asking.
I'm just saying that there's nothing to there's not anything to question. Like you it gets to a certain point where I don't know about but this is
I believe you're very much talking about your own house.
I'm talking about my own household.
Yep.
It gets to a certain point where it's like I'm not asking for permission. I'm telling you that this is happening, and that's what's happening. Like, I think there comes a time where it's like you hit the ceiling with your parents in terms of like there's no other. They have to understand that yes, you are my child, but you are not a child. Do you get what I mean? I think my parents.
She's 22. So could you still have that same confidence as you're talking now as someone that's 22?
Once I got to college, there wasn't any.
Interesting.
There was no any.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't ask you because I feel like your example then is very like.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm trying to think about.
No, I'm just talking about myself. You asked me how it was for me. I'm saying how it was.
There was no issues.
There was no issue. They can't, even if there was an issue, my parents respect the fact that I'm an adult to know that they shouldn't they can't voice that issue.
Fine.
I think that's something that they've just had to come to terms with, and I think that anyone that is a parent will have to come to that term at one point in your life. Like your child, yes, they're your child, but they're not nobody's kids anymore. You can't be telling me.
Fair enough.
Telling me what to do.
I think 22, I understand that you very much feel like an adult, but I can understand why you would still feel a bit more nervous than, for example, as I'm older now, like, please. But like when I was 20, I'm thinking about 22. And again, I think you, I know you've acknowledged this.
Yeah.
You've already said this as well in terms of even just the dynamics of like.
Yeah, my household is.
Your household is very different. And also you have a brother as well who's very, like, do you know what I mean? Like both of you are very.
At the same time, let's not get it twisted. It's not like my parents are not, especially my dad is very hands-on in terms
100%.
of like,
I'm not saying no hands-on.
No, but I'm saying is that you said something about them being nervous about her being 22. I'm saying that regardless of my age, my dad will always be on my case in the terms of like, oh, you need to communicate what you need to be taking us along the thing. Like that's the type of person my dad is. Like, no, my mom's not like that. My dad is very okay, like how are you? He'll call, he'll text, anything. But it's a sense where that's just how it is. Like he'll always be nervous, no matter, even if I'm 30, even if I'm 40, as long as he's breathing, his kids. My dad is very like his kids are his life. So whatever we're doing, whatever age, he will always be nervous. He'll always be worried. He'll always be like, if I tell him I'm going to the GP, he's like, oh my god, like is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just going for a smear test. Like, it's not anything. But that's just the type of person my dad is. But at the same time, my parents respect the fact that me and my brother are adults. At the end of the day, like, we pay taxes, we are adults. We're just living in your house. I'm sure if things were better, like the economy was better, where it's just easy to buy a house and stuff like that, we would have been out ages. Like, we would have been out ages ago. But with the times that we're in, I think my dad left his dad's house at 19 and he came to the UK and started his life. But I'm saying that I think they just understand that with the circumstances that we're in, majority of people that are in mid-20s or late 20s, they're still living at home, but they're still adults. I think that's just the kind of mutual understanding that my parents have with us anyway. But like I said, it's not my home situation is not everybody's home situation.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can appreciate that.
Yeah. What about you, Sharon? Have you ever had had to navigate the whole like telling your parents you're going to like stay with a guy or like go on holiday with a guy? Like, have you had that conversation with them? You haven't?
Never, no. But I think like obviously now at this age it's very different to what it would have been when I was 22. I think if I was 22, like I feel like it would have been a discussion. I don't think it would have been a like, I'm doing this by the way, see ya. But I think, yeah, obviously now at my age, regardless of whether you live at home or not, I think it's just very different. Like your parents also, but like when our parents were our age, they were probably married by this age. Like in my parents' case, like in the case of my parents, they were married, had kids already. So like it was very different. So I think they consider that. But I think it would be very difficult for me to have had that conversation at 22 because I know that my parents would not have approved of it. But then again, I don't know. I think also like as time goes on, it's like different because obviously my brother's younger than me. But he went on holiday with his girlfriend, like when they were boyfriend and girlfriend. So like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I had to ask the question: does your parents do they know that you're in a relationship?
Yeah.
Because I'm saying that I'm sure if you had been in a relationship for like 2 years and you were 22, almost turning 23, you're out of uni. If you had the conversation with your parents, like, oh, I'm going on holiday with my boyfriend, I'm sure there would have been a bit of pushback, but I think they would be more understanding if you carried them along the way of your relationship. If you just pop out of nowhere saying I've got a boyfriend, then 2 weeks time you're going on holiday with who?
Yeah, like he's a stranger.
Like who is that?
I
Like
don't even know that guy.
Yeah,
the thing is, you actually do have to sometimes, and that's like something I don't think I really appreciated when I was younger. Like you do have to look at it from your parents' point of view. Sometimes it's not even about what you're gonna do when you're on the holiday. It's the fact that I have no idea who this person is. What happens if you go on holiday and you don't come back? Like, and I was the one that said like, yes, you can go. Do you get it? Like, so sometimes it's that. So to Tammy's point, like, I would say, first question is, does she know that you have a boyfriend? Has she met the guy? Because it actually is a big deal to go away with a guy like that you've never been away with before. Like you don't, like obviously I'm sure he's a stand-up guy, but you actually don't know. And like in a situation where you're abroad and you can't run away and you can't, do you know what I mean? Like you have to be like sure that you're in safe hands sort of thing. So I would never encourage like anyone to be like, oh yeah, like just say that you're at your friend's house for a sleepover, because friends have done that with me and I've not liked it.
In terms of like what I've done, I think you guys have said it spot on, and that's exactly what I did. And I feel like I navigated it very, very well, in the sense that like I think that, just like Sharon said, safety is normally like paramount in terms of why people wouldn't want you traveling with people that they don't understand, like, or even know. Like even some of it, it's true, because even when it comes to like even girls trips, sometimes like even at your young age you'd be like, who the heck are these people? Like where do you know them from? Like these are your people that you actually trust. Like you just want to be safe on holiday. Honestly, like if you actually hear all the crazy stories that happen, like people really do find themselves in some fucked up situations because they travel with the wrong people, people they don't really know. But one thing that I've done, which I would definitely advise people, is 100% if you're dating somebody, like take your parents on the journey. And for me, like I already knew that I wanted to make sure, and it's a big part of me in the sense of like I want to travel with my whoever I'm with. It's something that I really, really enjoy doing, and I want to share that experience with my partner. But I knew that I had to start small. So like I started off with like small weekend trips in the UK. Like first of all being like, hey, we're celebrating, or we're going to X place in London. Like this is where I'm going. I share all the details, like this is where I'm going, this is where we're staying, we're going to be traveling, And well, who do we have here? Somebody that thought they were going to get this content for free. Joker. If you guys want to watch the full episode, make sure you click the link below.